Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly sponsored by Seven Sagas and the recent release of Medjay, Secrets Beneath the Sand. This is a larger-than-life Monster Hunter tabletop role-playing game where you get to unravel the mysteries of ancient Egypt and confront the threats from within, from without, and even from beyond the stars. You will find it in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by Gates of Krystalia. This is a card-driven isekai style tabletop role-playing game. It is available in 6 languages, and they have recently released the Last Deux advanced rulebook. This optional expansion brings so many things to the table concerning the setting of the game, details on character development, isekai tropes such as the school trip, romance rules, the beach trip, and you also have solo rules to play this as a solo or cooperative experience without a game master. You will find it in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by Dead Tree Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. They have recently released Daughters of Lamb. This is a pay-what-you-want tabletop RPG where you get to play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. You will find it in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products and check out their recent release of Final Frontier. This is a streamlined sci-fi tabletop role-playing game where you get to explore space for justice, for profit, for both. You will find it in the description and in the pinned comment as well. Now, a moment please while I maximize. There we go. Today, I'm going to share my thoughts on the recent actual play of Cult Divinity Lost, the Black Madonna. This video is going to contain spoilers, and if you haven't seen the parts of that ongoing campaign, please check out the playlist in the description of this video. There was a very important thing, I would say a couple of very important things that occurred during that session, and I thought this is the perfect opportunity to talk about this specific topic. Errors that occur in a tabletop RPG session are great opportunities for world building and roleplay. What do I mean by this? During the session, the group was investigating the Slavic Association. They were trying to discover the place where the rituals were being carried out. And by following various leads, they discovered the offices of the Slavic Association. However, they confused the offices with the mansion where they saw a ritual being carried out when they were in a sort of a otherworldly journey. So they saw the place, but they don't know exactly where it is located. And as they later found out, there are no such properties. There is not a complete register of the properties of the Slavic Association and whatnot. And so they were preparing completely to go to the Slavic Association offices as if it was the temple where the ritual was being carried out. But they lost valuable time while doing so. They also attempted, in the case of Paquet, the character, he was trying to Pierre Paquet to communicate with one of the more dangerous entities of Cult Divinity Lost. That also botched. So those were errors within the game world. And that is perfect because this means that this is not some sort of movie where everything is scripted or comic book. This is a world. In a tabletop role playing game, you have a world and you can interact with that world. It is a real world within the fiction. So there is no script, there is no storytelling, there is nothing like that. You have this world, and as your character, by playing the role of your character, you are transported into that world and you get to interact with that world. So it is common that errors could occur. Now, game masters that are trying to pull things on rails and try to tell a story and try to write a script to script the entire sequence of events, they will try to force the players so that they don't make these mistakes because they are not cinematic. If you were to see a movie and you were to see those mistakes, you could consider that if it were a movie, like a waste of time. Like, oh, you know that scene when the characters they were preparing to carry out this operation in the temple where the ceremony was being done, these rituals, these curses, and then they went and it was the office and they had to return to pick up their character. You see, that would be considered like a flaw in a movie. Like, oh, they wasted so much time that wasn't necessary, or they could have easily mentioned that briefly. But this is a tabletop role playing game. This is a world, and you get to interact with it. You're not telling a story about the world. You're not writing a script about the world. You're not shooting a film about the world. You're not doing a theater play about the world. This is a real world. So, as the characters will find out in the next session, there will be an effect due to that delay. As a game master, don't try to force things. If the characters make some mistakes, that has an effect on the game world. They lost valuable time by going there and oh, it's not the right place, and we go back and we pick up the other character. Those are our precious minutes, right? What could have happened during those precious minutes? So in the next session, they're going to find out, and hopefully they will survive, right? And so those mistakes actually add to the world building, to they add to the structure of the fiction. It has taken place. Don't try to correct things. Don't try to no 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 no. You know what? You made a mistake. Let's backtrack. No no no. Let's do it. No no no. You're mistaken. Let it happen. It already took place in the fiction, and now because it is a real world within the fiction, the non-player characters, the places, various events are going to keep on going on. They are going to keep on turning, rolling about, moving. The non-player characters still have their agendas. The various places are going to be visited by certain non-player characters. There could be weather or effects that change. The weather constantly changes. There could be, in the case of KULT, because it has a lot to do with sorcery and the occult, there could be some otherworldly or extra dimensional occurrences that are also affected by this mistake, right? So the mistakes in tabletop RPGs are actually a perfect opportunity for world building and role playing. And there was also this moment with Mark when he thought about something funny, but instead of making that funny reference in the game, he went out of character, so I had to penalize that according to the social contract. Because, like I said, the players, the game master, they do not exist in the game world. If you suddenly think of a funny reference, work it into the fiction. Even if it's something, for example, a cult happens in the 90s, and if you thought something a bit more recent related to TikTok or whatever, no, Twitter, handle it within the context. Maybe you're referencing something that you saw on TV or you heard on the radio or you saw on the tabloids, etc. So that is a perfect opportunity to work it into the fiction. If you find that opportunity, do not let it go to waste. It will serve for character development and will tell you a lot more about the game world, right? Maybe if it's a reference for television, for radio, the tabloids, it's going to highlight those aspects of the world. So overall, very enjoyable session. And remember, everybody that perhaps is new to tabletop RPGs or is stumbling about when playing role-playing games, those errors can be integrated into the fiction, and the session will be enriched because of it. Thank you for watching this, my thoughts on the Cult Divinity Lost, the Black Madonna session, actual play. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the Super Thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, roleplay solves everything. Once again, thank you and see you later.